talk about the success of our faculty, our staff, and our students, technology is a great driver of that success. And we have to, on our campus, be, I would argue, on the cutting edge of that technology. We have to make sure that we're providing the latest technology to our faculty to be able to teach, to make sure that that technology works, that our students are conversant with the technology, that they know how to use it, that our faculty know exactly how to use all the bells and whistles to be able to implement it appropriately and properly, to take full advantage of it. Because as you know, students learn in different ways. I mean, you and I may learn in a certain way that may be completely different from a friend of yours or a family member. The greatest technological advancement on this campus, the greatest benefit to our students, is probably bandwidth or capacity, because a freshman shows up on campus and they have more devices now than a freshman even 5, 7, 10 years ago. They'll have a laptop, they'll have an iPad, they'll have a smartphone, they may have a gaming device. Well, I think student and faculty success is absolutely tied to technology, because in 2017, look at the world around you and look at how different it was even 10 years ago. Look at the way smartphones have changed the way that we communicate. I often use this example. I did this just a few weeks ago with a group of students. I had them held up their phone, and I said, how many of you have heard of Apollo 13? And the great majority of them have not. They haven't paid attention to the space program. Then I tell the story of Apollo 13 and how long it took them to get to the moon, and how many miles they traveled, 240,000 miles or whatever it was, how many days it took. And I tell them, you hold in your hand more computer capacity and technology than they had to get a group of men back to and back from the moon. And that was a few years after I was born, in the late 60s. That's how far we've advanced.
The thing that draws me to technology, I think, is its great promise. We have no idea what's going to come in a year. We have absolutely no idea what's going to come in a year. But if our infrastructure is in place and can support that, we're in good shape. The other thing that I think draws me to technology is the promise that it makes education accessible to people.
With Microsoft Office, we collaborate using like MyMail or like Skype or anything, kind of in the sense of like, oh hey, like here's like a project that I need to go send off to my group. I can like Dropbox it to them or something, and then kind of like share it that way, or use like SharePoint itself off of Microsoft Office.
What I like about EKU is that you can get free Microsoft Office and you can get free antivirus downloaded on your personal computer.
I use Microsoft Office because it's the standard for any kind of homework I do here, Word or Excel or PowerPoint or Access. Like if you think a presentation, you think PowerPoint. And then I use G Suite. The biggest part of G Suite I use is Google Drive. I actually use like my own computer backup on Google Drive, and that's really helpful to me to have like an unlimited online storage thing that I can access and use as a student.
Do we have the proper infrastructure? Do we have the infrastructure in place to make sure that students have at their disposal what they need to be successful? Do faculty have remotely from their homes, from wherever they are?
One of the biggest technological advancements that nobody ever sees is really our infrastructure. You know, I keep using that word, but it is all of the people behind the scenes who are making sure that we are connected. And when we talk about the network, it's this confusing kind of place for everybody, but really if you think about it as the skeleton that keeps us connected. So all of our mobile devices, Blackboard's up and working, EKU Direct is up and working, all of those things that we use and take for granted, there's a great underpinning, there's a great skeleton underneath that makes all of that work. And for me, that infrastructure that keeps us all connected, Rave connected, you know, any of the tools that we use on this campus, that to me is the greatest advancement that we've had so far.
So we start with interfacing with the architects when the design for the building is first made. Then we making sure that we have all our physical infrastructure in place. Then as the time goes by, we interface a lot with the contractors that are doing the actual installations, making sure everything is terminated and installed the way we want it to be. And then lastly, once the building is near completion, we start installation of the hardware, switches, access points, cameras, things like that.
Technology humanizes my classroom. That may come as a paradox to some people. I'm all about text, in which we're actually looking and holding the book, connecting that feel. And yet in a text, there's so many images that the student needs to be aware of. And so being able to divert them to the screen in which they can see the author's face, the images of what society was like at the time, it brings that human element in which it would take me dozens of books to bring in, hard to show the pictures, and yet with technology, I can humanize my classroom.
Well, technology normally is a major factor in driving down the cost of almost about anything. So with the emerging and current advance in computer technology, we can see a lot of products that used to be very, very expensive to get and now become affordable. On top of those, technology provides us an alternate way of education delivery. Students no longer are required just get information from classroom, can also, in addition to going to class, augment their education experience by going online to a lot of educational websites, and including some of the well-known schools. Both MIT and Stanford have a lot of online courses that provide students with a wealth collection of very useful information. So it's an exciting time to learn. Information just everywhere.
I'll meet a student that comes across the stage for the very first time. They've set foot on campus at EKU, and I shake their hand when I hand them their diploma, because they've been on an Army base in Germany, or they've been in flight school in Ohio. And because of our e-campus capacity, because of technology, we've been able to deliver that education to them. So that's an amazing technological advancement, that because of our capacity, we're able to deliver that.
I think that faculty really benefit from technology. Technology complements what faculty do in terms of content delivery. So when we talk about flipping the classroom, faculty are able to use technology to deliver that content in some other way than a traditional lecture. So at this moment in time, a lot of conversations happen on this campus about flipping the classroom, giving the content to the students via a technological solution like lecture capture, for instance, or a recording or a video. And then you spend class time digging into that content and understanding it. So that's an immediate way that I see technology benefiting faculty and students right now, because technology can help engage the students more in this way. If you're using your class time, on digging into that content that you've delivered in some other way.
Research has shown that students want faculty to record their lectures, record the demonstrations, so that they can be reviewed later and reviewed multiple times if needed. So imagine how nice it is to sit in a class and not have to take notes and worry about writing everything, knowing that you can go back later, review the class session, take notes if you need to, or review it multiple times. So students really like it when faculty do that. They also want faculty to use the learning management systems to post their grades, to let them know how they are doing in relation to their peers in the class. And the new LMS, the new Blackboard SAS, will do that. It can push that information to students, including early alerts. Being able to provide that information to students on a timely basis has shown that students grades improved, and the retention of students in classes also improves. That is part of the emerging technology. Students also want faculty to teach using simulations and games, immersion learning. They want to be part of active learning. We see that in lots of classes, in using technology in the health sciences, for example, in the aviation program. All kinds of disciplines across campus are using technology, and we support that.
Technology has allowed students to see the beauty of the academic world. Because we have technology, students now have more resources at their hands in a more convenient way. It has brought the world, in a sense, into your backyard. I can remember spending hours going through books in the library that now I can access, on my computer. And so students have been so acclimated to using technology for social media and social concerns. And so they've been limited to that. And by us showing them, look what technology can do to expand your mind, to broaden your horizons, that is truly the beautiful thing of technology in our academic world today.
We work with faculty to help them design an instructionally appropriate online course. We help them choose various instructional tools such as wikis, blogs, VoiceThread, etc., whatever is available for online course delivery, and we help them select the best tool and use it appropriately in their online instruction. So out of our partnership, faculty get a really well-designed online course from which the students benefit. That's the ultimate goal, is student benefit. The recent switch to Blackboard SAS is, I think, is a great move by the university and will greatly enhance the student experience. The previous Blackboard wasn't designed well. So the most recent switch to Blackboard SAS is a step in the right direction and will help EKU faculty design better looking courses that are easier for students to navigate. That's one of the benefits. Humanizing distance education or online learning is one of our main goals in Instructional Design Center. We teach faculty how to be inside of the online course. There's a large research body that says that if students are disconnected from online courses, they tend to drop out. They tend to feel disconnected from university, from the course, from the faculty. And so we teach how to create a faculty presence, how to be inside of the course. And that would include one-on-one interactions, faculty create a video, introductory video, lesson videos, synchronous sessions through Blackboard Collaborate or other synchronous tools. I've heard of faculty using Skype as well, or other Zoom.
Good pedagogy is necessary for any type of teaching and learning, whether it's online, blended, or in the physical classroom. It takes a special kind of understanding how to use that pedagogy properly in the online classroom. And you want something that works for students in an online setting in a way that maybe is more social, using social tools, than perhaps you might need in a physical classroom, that sort of thing. But pedagogy itself is relevant no matter what type of classroom you're using.
ADA compliance with online learning is extremely important. How does EKU achieve this?
Well, ADA compliance and Section 508 of the Federal Accessibility Standards are both highly necessary for online learning. We try to meet that by providing media with alternatives. For instance, if we have video we try to have captions or transcripts to go with those videos so that students who can't hear the videos or who can't see the videos are taken care of one way or the other. We also do things like make our HTML in such a way that screen readers can read the structure of a document accurately. The same goes for Microsoft Word documents. We try to design our documents so that the structure is proper for screen readers. There are instances where this doesn't happen. If an instructor who's creating their own documents, let's say, does not understand how to provide that structure, we can provide training to that instructor to show them how to structure your documents, how to structure your information in Blackboard such that a screen reader can use it. But there's so much involved in meeting federal standards that it would take a day for me to explain all that. But we do try to do what we can to make our information, our instruction accessible to our students, no matter what their ability or disability.
What is universal design and why is it important for online?
Universal design is similar to accessibility. Universal design actually takes in accessibility because accessibility is building your instruction, your assessments, and so on, so that persons with disabilities can access it and use it. Universal design, which is also called inclusive design, is taking everyone into account, whether they have disabilities or not. So we're trying to make our instruction usable and friendly and accessible by anybody, perhaps if you have a physical disability, a cognitive disability, or simply if you are trying to use your mobile phone. We're trying to design the learning so that you might even use a mobile phone rather than use a PC or a Mac. So it takes in a lot more than accessibility itself. Both are extremely important, and I would recommend using universal design in instruction simply because it encompasses accessibility.
I like G Suite and the online office because it makes group work so much easier. I can upload a file and give the group members access to it, and we can all edit it without having to send multiple copies of the file between everyone. My favorite learning-based activity that the IT offers is the Underground Media Adobe Suite. The Geeks offer free access to drawing tablets and Photoshop with free tutoring on all the programs. My favorite entertainment service that the Geeks offer is the free 3D printing as well as 3D modeling softwares.
EKU Secure is the wireless network that allows students to bring their laptops, iPads, iPhones, and other wireless devices to campus to connect to the internet and to get access to Blackboard, EKU Direct, and other services to enhance their experience while on campus and so they're not tethered down in their residence halls or other places on campus. While there are wireless services on campus, there's also the preferred connection method of wired connections. A wired connection provides you with higher speeds on your internet connection and also provides a more stable connection to the internet. A wired connection allows you to access the internet more rapidly and quickly and also ensures that your access to the internet is more uniform and tethered.
My favorite thing about online classes is the flexibility. I love the way the classes are set up because you aren't tied to a physical room, and the professors usually have the deadlines for the semester posted in the syllabus so you can work at your own pace. My favorite service offered by the Geeks is in Tech Commons. It's awesome to check out a gaming console or bring your own and get a group of people together so you can play Smash Brothers or Mario Kart.
It's called personal identifiable information. It could be your first name and last name, then a combination maybe with an SSN or with an account number. So when we hold something like that, for one thing, state laws mandate us to hold it secure. So if we have a breach, we have to contact the Kentucky Attorney General, the state police, different entities that from the state that need to be aware of this. So it's very important for us to keep it secure. We have grades, we have people's addresses, phone numbers, just all kinds of stuff. Okay, so a company will have a collection of servers in a certain spot. And so what they'll do is they'll take an application and they'll host it, they'll install the software, and you actually get to it through the internet. So the cloud to them is a bunch of servers hosting a bunch of applications so that a bunch of different customers can hit those applications. So that's what a cloud is.
How does moving apps to the cloud benefit the university?
Well, to me, moving apps to the cloud, there's some positives definitely. A lot of times it's cheaper. Also, let me think here. You gain technical expertise. Like, okay, so Amazon has a huge cloud, and they have a lot of employees, and of course our shop is pretty small. So a lot of times when you move an app to the cloud, you'll gain some, like say, somebody that knows something that we don't. So instead of having to go out to hire a consultant or hire a new employee, we can use that. You also gain some efficiencies in that, like say, their data center, they can scale up and down based on what you needed for application. We're going to implement two-factor authentication. Two-factor authentication is, a good example is you would log into your MyMail account. You would already have an app on your phone from Microsoft that would pop up and says, someone has tried to log into your MyMail. Click left to reject, click right to accept. So if you just logged in your MyMail, great, you know that this is you. Click right, I am good. You might get that message, you're not even around your MyMail account, so somebody has actually got your password and your username, but this would stop it. So what we hope is what we've seen is about 80% of the spam that you're getting in MyMail is coming from other students' accounts who have already been hacked. So basically what will happen is if we can implement the two-factor, we would hope this spam would be down, like I said, 80%, which would make a huge difference in your all's box. So that's kind of what I'm really excited about, is two-factor authentication.
Well, the first thing I had in mind is artificial intelligence with machine learning. And this is an area that a lot of new coming technologies are based on, and students benefit them by using those applications through an online textbooks, interactive textbooks, and experimentation and all those. Then the second thing I had in mind is computer security, cyber security in particular. So these days, having information being stolen is a big deal. So students definitely didn't want to have the information get stolen. Plus, this is an exciting area to get into the work with the police and different government agencies. And the third one I have in mind is on interactive multimedia with virtual reality and all those advanced graphic technology. The experience that people get using those software is just so exciting this day. We definitely support the research in emerging technology, and in particular, we are setting up a machine learning lab that allows students to do data mining, data science, and extract information from a large collection of data, and it provides a totally new paradigm of programming. And on top of those, mobile application, mobile technology is something also very exciting because these days everybody uses a smart device, whether a smartphone or any IoT devices, and it's at a stage that we start to see the true benefit of having automations and computer technology combined to help us in every aspect of our life. So it's definitely very, very exciting.
Student success looks like students graduating. IT fosters that success simply by being here and supporting students. It really is the only reason that we exist, is because of our students. We are why, they are why we are here. We like to say that we keep teachers teaching and students learning. And so everything in IT from the LMS to the geeks to the service desk to our e-presence, which is distance learning. All of that is designed to support students. We work with the classroom infrastructure in supporting our faculty and teaching, students learning. So everything we do is geared towards supporting students and faculty. We have the geeks, as you know, who work only with students. They support students exclusively. We also have our service desk. Students are welcome to come to the service desk or call our 3000 number. And so everyone on the service desk also supports students. Our AV, classroom technology, instructional technology group supports students.
You all are geeks. You're a part of the geeks system, right?
Yes.
I'd just say this. I love the fact that we have the gurus and the geeks on campus, what I call this peer-to-peer mentoring system, because as much as the faculty and the staff can help, and that's what we're here for, the fact that students that are at an age as the rest of the student population can help their peers, I think is one of the best things we can do. And I really appreciate what you all do. It really means a lot to us. It means a lot to our campus. To go by and see how you're helping your fellow students really is gratifying. So keep up the great work.
IT at EKU helps me to collaborate with other students to provide papers and projects.
Checkout system for students allows us to regulate ourselves as well as giving us the opportunity to have the equipment so readily available. I mean, I don't really remember the last time I had needed a camera to record something, so not having one was pretty normal. But when I needed one for class, the ability to check out a camera so quickly and easily was a huge help.
I think the changing demographic of the kind of student that we're going to have on campus and the different kind of curriculum that we're going to have here at the university will have a certain kind of demand on technology. And really that's going to be an increase in our infrastructure. Every semester there's a different wearable device. Every semester there's a different tool, right? Every semester there's a different technology.
They do pay attention to technology because so much of our life in this day and age is linked to, does technology work? And we have to be a campus that anticipates the needs now, but also in the future of what our students need in the here and now, but also 5-10 years down the road.
One of the big advancements that I hope happens with technology at EKU is that we can continue to make education accessible to people it would not otherwise be accessible to, whether that's the online student, however we can frame our services so that we're thinking about those students who could potentially come here or who are here and creating the best possible experience that we can for them. Making that education accessible for them, but also making the experience while they're here the best that we can, so that technology is not a barrier to their experience, but it enhances and enriches their experience. That's what technology should do, and that's the greatest advancement I think that will help teaching and learning on this campus.